Hello, welcome to the finals of an Oath of the Gatewatch draft, and we're playing this kind of black-white allies deck, life gain. I think this hand is not terribly exciting, but worth keeping. All that we really need to do early is draw any land. So to get upkeep stop off, so we got there. And then the next thing is to draw a white land. Red-white, so it looks like this is going to be an aggressive deck we're playing against. Those are just the colors. But it could be anything. Okay. Tunneling Geopede. It's my last round opponent here. What do we do? The Envoy is a pretty good blocker for that. Might as well go with that. 1/4 to trump your 3/2. And the ability, it starts to take over this gaining a life each turn anyway. Alright, let's see what's up. Okay, do I block here? It's kind of bad if there's any trick, but at least it trades with a trick, so yeah, I'll go ahead and block. It could easily be a bluff attack, and if it's not, it still trades 1 for 1. Okay, so we haven't drawn exactly what we need now. We could play the Seer's Lantern, or it might just be right to play this Malakir Familiar. And then... that's a tough one, but... yeah, leaving back the Envoy seems to block more damage. Alright, so we take 1 off the land, and it's kind of weird for our opponent to attack. Okay, they kill that, so now they can attack safely into all this. We take 6. Ooh, rough turn. Holdout Settlement, that's a nice one here. We get to play Drana's Emissary, I would think. Or we can play Seer's Lantern and put up this wall. That might be a bit safer. Let's see. 3, 4. Yeah, the wall, that just means we're taking 3 and we gain 1, so it'll be 11. Four. Yeah, let's be greedy. I'm going to play out Drana's Emissary. Gain life from this. And if that doesn't work out, we can fall back on doing some other stuff. The nice part about Seer's Lantern is it opens up the possibility of doing 2 things on a later turn. Like maybe Zulaport Chain Mage and Fortified Rampart. But we'd have already had Fortified Rampart out, so that doesn't really work. Now, do we block Withdrawn as Emissary, or do we take the full 6? And I'm gonna guess we don't block with it. It's too good to gain 1 a turn and start doing some damage in the air. And the Fortified Rampart will do the blocking after this. Not feeling comfortable in this spot, but you know, if both our creatures live, that's a good start. Against those colors, it's not quite as likely. Devour in Flames. Okay, so Devour in Flames, you get a landfall trigger, we take 7. We go to 7. Come on, Plains would be a good draw. Swamp is not too bad, I guess. No, it's pretty bad. Yeah, I like playing out, hold on. I like playing out Zulaport Chain Mage. And then we can block a couple things and gain life. So we're effectively at 8. And it might discourage an attack from the commando. Okay, effectively at 7 then. Oh no, Relief Captain. That is not good. So we take 4 this turn, and we can't kill anything. What should we kill? I guess we would kill the Tunneling Geopede. Or try to. Yeah, ouch. I'm not going to block with the Envoy, it just doesn't make a ton of sense here. But I will gain a life. Yeah, so we have to pass. There we go. Now we get this thing. We take 2 minimum from this Zados Commando. And it looks like we're just going to die on the ground next turn. So what can we do to help prevent that? We can have 2 blockers, and that's just not going to be enough because we'll be at 3 again, and all of the creatures are lethal. So this doesn't quite do it, but I don't mind playing into a mistake by our opponent, I guess. So yeah, we take 1 immediately. Yep, dead on board here. It's interesting. I mean, if there are cards we could have that we don't die this turn. Like we tap for white mana and we play, you know, we have it in our deck, Immolating Glare. But we just don't have that. So we'll see if we get any more information or out of what our opponent thinks we might have, how they play. And sometimes your opponent just gives you an extra turn when they don't need to. But if everything attacks here, I'll just concede. Yeah, that is a lethal attack. We can do nothing about it. So let's go to game 2. Now we got a little unlucky not to draw all the white we needed, but that's just how it works sometimes. Flaying Tendrils is pretty perfect, I think, for this deck. And we can take out the Sky Climber, which just isn't quite as good against an aggressive deck. Now, what else is good? Dazzling Reflection might be okay. Fellow Cub doesn't seem great. I could see putting in the Dazzling Reflection over something like... Tarsnir seems good. over something like what? Maybe I'll hold off on that. We're on the play. We'll just try to win with the deck as it is. Dazzling Reflection, it's good against things like First Strike, where you have a 2-2, and your 2-2 can't beat their 2-1 First Strike, unless it doesn't do any damage for one turn. Yeah, I'll be on the play. And this hand is fine. It has an early body that is hard to attack through. Just need to draw a land or two. And this time we do have the Immolating Glare. Oh, perfect. I guess I could be worried about haste here, but not exactly sure what that would be. Ooh, Gideon's Reproach. Okay, so that's another thing I could have been worried about, I suppose. I'll play the Familiar. Yeah, I think Gideon's Reproach is, you know, it's mana even here, but it's kind of a better card than the Aeronaut to begin with. Still drawing pretty well, so I'll play out the Chain Mage and hold the Familiar back to block. Getting in 2 damage is not as big a deal right now. And what would I block with here? I'll probably block with the Familiar and leave the Chain Mage up. Or not. I'll still block this thing. We need to survive. Oh, it can't block, of course. Zada's Commando. Alright, this turn seems like a good turn to get Seer's Lantern out instead of the Retreat, because it still leaves us with Immolating Glare. And honestly, I might point that at Zada's Commando if that attacks. And try to block the Geopede. The Chain Mage gets a little better once we have allies from the Retreat, but the Overseer is going to be good with the Retreat anyway, if ever we get to the point where we can attack. Reality Hemorrhage. Yeah, that's not great. Now we'll point the Immolating Glare at the Geopede, I would guess. Yeah, I'm surprised it lets me even consider using that ability. Yeah, I'll point the Glare at the Geopede just because it saves more damage, even though it's easier to kill with this Retreat. Okay, so far we've gone 4 for 4, but I'm down in life and in board position. And I'm on the play, so I have less cards to begin with. Oh, Fortified Rampart, that's great. That means we play this, and we get a Scry. And scrying doesn't help too much because we kind of want to draw anything. We already have our most expensive card in hand, so putting it to the bottom doesn't help. And drawing land is good. Okay, here comes a Glider. Although, our hand matches up well against what we see. Yeah, I'll keep that. That means we can play Retreat. Or it might just be right to get out the Overseer. Actually, I like trying to maximize the value from the Retreat here, because that might work out better with the Overseer. This also, I don't know, suggests a kind of trick or something. That means we'll go 1 turn without blocking the Glider, but if there's removal spell for the Overseer, then we wouldn't get to block it anyway, and we just lost out on an ally. Okay, another Commando. That's pretty strong. It gets to keep pinging us. Now, to hold the swamp or not to hold the swamp? I guess I'll put it out there. I'd rather get another creature into play. These allies are never going to attack through the first strike anyway. Until there's more allies than there are commandos. Tell you though, good thing we put in the flaying tendrils. So Shadow Glider comes in. That would be a bit surprising. I think I would just try to block it. I mean, this could easily be terrible, but I don't want to take all this damage. You know, we take no damage here. Searing Light's pretty good. And wait, there's more. Mighty Leap. Oh, wow. So we lose everything for 2 cards. We don't get much out of it. Now we can start scrying. Yeah, not much advantage to blocking here. Once I have 3 allies, I can triple block 1, but we really need to draw something good, so I probably should have scryed that to the bottom in my upkeep. But at least we get to scry on our end step now. Take 6 here. Hopefully that doesn't mean we're dead. Yeah, it does mean we're dead. Alright, well, let's scry, see what's coming up. And this is what we would have drawn if we scried at our upkeep, so that is not great. Oh wow, this guy's deck was very fast and pretty consistent. So good games, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.